Hello and welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and this is my daughter Maya. She is joining me today. We are actually at the Denton County Master Gardeners Tour and at our first location here, and it is just going to be a fabulous day. So come along with us and view these amazing Master Gardener gardens. The intro you just saw in no way reflects the magnitude of the gardens I was about to witness. I just want to highly encourage you to view each and every one of these gardens. They will inspire you with ideas of plant combinations, color combinations, native plants that do well here in Texas, hardscape designs, planting around hardscape designs like pools, dealing with erosion issues and water runoff issues in your yard. There were 4 separate gardens in the Denton County Master Gardeners Tour, and each of the gardens was named. I will put a timestamp for each garden so that you can jump ahead to any one of them. The first garden we visited was called Century Oak, named after a 200-year-old oak tree original to the property. The second garden we visited was called Hidden Gem, your seemingly ordinary but absolutely beautiful HOA restricted home whose owner has turned her garden into an absolute oasis. The third garden is called Shades of Eden and Art, featuring native and Texas heat-adapted plants in a carefully curated and absolutely beautiful design. Finally, we came to Possum Creek Garden, where the homeowners faced a huge challenge of creating garden spaces along an actual creek bed running through their property. It is absolutely inspiring and stunning what the owners have accomplished. So please come along as I pass through and capture these glorious gardens for you. Okay, so we started off here at Century Oak, and what you are looking at right here is called the Rain Garden. It is in kind of the front/side of the property, and basically it is an area of the owner's yard that habitually or consistently gets flooded with water during a rainstorm. And so what she has done is pretty much allowed this to be sort of like a rain garden. So these plants are well adapted to be flooded if necessary. And I think I heard the master gardener say that this can be flooded for up to 72 hours. But as you can see, this is where the water naturally flows down, and it comes from right over here where this Century Oak is located. And so the owner just basically made do with what she could and diverted the water over to this rain garden, and it really works for them, and it's absolutely beautiful. So coming through, you can see that the owner has made a lot of different pathways all throughout her garden, which I absolutely loved, and lots of live oaks on the property as well. There's a little seating area, more rocks where I'm sure there's some water runoff issues. I love her sign that says Century Oak Garden, coming from that oak that I believe they said was 200 years old or more. I absolutely loved this little bench here, and you'll see a close-up of it in a second. It's a little fairy garden with little miniature plants and succulents. Oh, it's so cute, and my daughter loved it. There's also these, stones, mosaic stones all throughout. Really cute little touches throughout the garden. I love her shed. It's absolutely beautiful. And then to kind of set off this shed, she has just an area of, wildflowers growing. And so I see some delphinium there. More rocks throughout this little garden to kind of tie everything in. Here's this archway that is just absolutely magnificent. I love the butterfly touch on there. We'll get a close-up of it in a second. And she has a passion vine that's growing up on this. Again, a tribute to, every plant is a pollinator plant in this garden, as she said. So this is a host plant actually for the Gulf fritillary butterflies. And there's that butterfly accent on her trellis. It's just absolutely beautiful. And another one of her oaks, I believe. Here on the side of her shed, she has her, little garden table adorned with some butterflies and things. Just so pretty. This plant was spectacular as well. This is actually an elderberry. I didn't know that when I was walking up to it, but there was a sign that let me know that it is an elderberry, and it's absolutely beautiful. My daughter just kind of touching and feeling it. It's look at those blooms. So pretty. Coming up over here to this garden, what you're looking at is actually a button bush. Again, I didn't know that prior to this, but you could see there's like little button flowers that are getting ready to just pop. They're not quite out yet, but I'm sure pretty soon this tree is going to look stunning. Not quite sure what that plant was, but I do know the next one is spiderwort with those pretty purple flowers. Again, I'm not super certain what some of these are. I think that is basil there on the bottom. And some type of salvia growing there. Or sage, perhaps. I love the little orbs she has on those hooks. This plant coming up with the pink flowers is comfrey. Some more spiderwort.
Hey everyone, this is Melissa. This is her garden at, is it Century Oak?
Century Oak.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. Well, when we moved in 2014, except for this bed around the pool, this was all just a strip of Bermuda.
Wow.
And I mean, the trees were good.
Yeah.
So it all started with the oak tree because we had to clear the root flare. And then the grass died and we made a bed. And that was like the first bed. And then I just kind of let the land tell me what it needs. So when we built this bed, we had water runoff, which I had to make the rain garden.
Yes.
So I did
that. Was brilliant, by the way. Brilliant.
But I do all my own work. The only thing I've hired out was to plant a Mexican plum in the front yard. That was super heavy. I've done the rock work. I buy all of my rock on Marketplace. It's either free or it's cheap. So rock's expensive. So we have a lot of it, and I have hauled it all in my car in just little bits and pieces. So it's all mismatched, and I like the character of it. But every plant I've put in this yard is for the pollinators. This was sterile landscape. So now we have lizards and butterflies and rabbits, unfortunately, sometimes because of the rains. Ducks. The ducks keep trying to nest in my bed behind my pool, which my dogs are taking care of right now. But everything is a pollinator. I started out trying to go 100% native. There's too many plants out there that I love. So I've mixed them, but they have to be a nectar source or something. And so we've just kind of done that. I work with where the light is. I think light's the most important thing in a garden. You can't change it.
Yeah.
So I can change soil. I can divert water. Can't change the sun. Yeah. So this is a huge 80% all sun all day, and we've had to work with that. So shade stuff is kind of all stuck into under my trees, under my neighbors' trees. And that's kind of my philosophy, but we've done well. And if you look at the bronze fennel in the back, it is covered in little baby swallowtail caterpillars. So, and that's a first. We haven't had any swallowtails in this yard. This year we're going to have a ton.
Awesome. This portion of her garden is a sensory garden, and it's in this beautiful little spiral pathway, just so awesome. But every plant here is supposed to appeal to one of your 5 senses, which I thought was such a great idea, especially if you have kids. Just really, really awesome. I know all throughout she has herbs. There's some artemisia, which is super soft. This lamb's ear, my daughter found that immediately. Some more artemisia. I think there's sedum all throughout. There's California poppies. That was tarragon, I remember that, and some more lamb's ear, artemisia. Just a really, really cute idea. And look at that little alien. He's so cute. Here is her pool, just really beautiful. She has several planting beds around her pool, along with containers kind of scattered all throughout. Really, really well done. And then there is her vegetable garden, raised bed garden. What a beautiful view there. It is here in this raised bed garden that she has bronze fennel, and here you see these swallowtail caterpillars all throughout it. I think there's probably 50 or more caterpillars. There's the eggs of the caterpillars. If you look closely, they're little white dots scattered throughout the plant. But yeah, those swallowtail caterpillars are going to town on that plant. That was so fun for my daughter. She spent quite a bit of time counting all of the caterpillars. And then here's just a brief look at the rest of her vegetable garden. One of her side gardens here. And yeah, I don't know what some of these are, to be quite honest. I know that's an oak leaf hydrangea, little baby oak leaf hydrangea right there, inside that tomato cage, which is a great idea. I love this little tiny bench with this little fairy taking a nap. It's so cute. It's just so neat to walk through another person's garden and see what they have come up with. You get so many ideas of plant combinations and, you know, ways that you can highlight your garden and make it look better. It's really awesome. So here you see some vinca, that's a radiaca, some salvia. Kind of the back side of her pool area. And she leaves some food out for the pollinators, which is so smart. Here's yarrow, really, really pretty. And here's where a lot of her container gardens are located. You know, that yellow flower you see there is rue, which is another host plant for butterflies. Salvia. If you notice, a lot of in her containers, it's mostly perennials, which is so awesome. And then here's her succulent area. So pretty. And here's some vines climbing along the trellises along that brick wall. Really, really beautiful. Oh, here is the Belinda's Dream Climber climbing rose. And over there is a Jackmani clematis alongside a Turk's cap, I believe. Here we are at the Hidden Gem Garden. Oh my goodness, look at those super junior persimmons. I spotted those immediately. Here is one of her shade gardens on the side of her house. Oh, look at that. So giant tractor seat plant, Japanese maple, oak leaf hydrangea. There's another Japanese maple behind that oak leaf as well. Just really, really great arrangement of some plants that work really well in the shade here in North Texas. Down there you can see a perenniera, some heuchera, hostas, ferns, begonias. That's her Japanese maple behind the oak leaf.
Well, I'm Kimmy Daly. This is my yard. And this is an average size home, and I have done all of the work myself, and so it's taken several years. It's been several transformations, and I like things to be easy. I grow a lot of things by seed. I grow a lot of things by having perennials. And then wherever the plant moves, like the cone flowers have moved from over this bed to this bed to this bed. And as long as they come up and they're not annoying, then I let them grow. And I also like to do a lot of pots. And the pots I like to be in the beds because they get watered by the sprinkler system. So again, a little bit of laziness on my part, but I like things to be easy. And again, I think this is a good example of what a regular homeowner can do. I didn't have a landscape crew, and it takes time. It takes work, but again, it's something that if you love it and it's your happy place, and you can come out and make it what you want it to be. It can be structured or it can be loose. And again, I use a lot of seeds. I do a lot of perennials and natural looks to achieve this.
All right. We are now coming up to the front of her house. There's some beautiful containers. She does a magnificent job with color combinations and texture combinations. Absolutely beautiful with the echinacea there. Some red coleus down there, just kind of giving bright pops of color with those red geraniums as well. Lime green colors with the sweet potato vine that you see. There's some coreopsis with the yellows. And then I love that fountain right in the middle of her garden. to create just this beautiful sound and water feature. Just, oh, so pretty. Definitely a cottage garden feel. I think those pink flowers is a spirea, and then she's got some rudbeckia. Really pretty red begonias with purple accents, and these are her topiary holly trees. I believe they're Yopon hollies. Cute little pig flying. There's some columbine down there with rudbeckia, heuchera, hostas as an underplant. It's just really well curated. Again, some shade plants underneath her holly. Some more echinacea and also another oak leaf along with a vine on the side there. Really, really pretty. Here is a ponytail palm. My daughter says, this looks like it could be in Hawaii. Really beautiful tree. This is a good view of her front yard. Coming up on the side of her yard, if you are looking for side garden inspiration, watch now. This is glorious. This view that she has made is unbelievable. Again, great combination of colors and textures there, and just look at this. It's breathtaking. It's so beautiful, y'all. So if you are looking for side garden inspiration, there you go. Some Turk's cap. I think there's larkspur popping up in that Turk's cap. There is a type of salvia, I forget what it's called, but it is this light blue color, so pretty. And I do not know what those pink flowers were, but those are larkspur, those pink and purple, and then echinacea and Turk's cap. More larkspur there, so pretty. Artemisia. Red salvia. Some more coreopsis, I believe. More larkspur. I definitely am going to add larkspur to my garden next year. This was very inspiring for me. Here's a beautiful seating area with some Turk's cap. And do y'all know what that weeping tree is? It's actually a weeping Yopon holly. I did not know there was such a thing until now, but it is stunning. So beautiful, especially over a pool. Wow, look at that view. Ooh. Here is a little corner piece of her garden that is a succulent garden. Here we've got some salvia. Salvia Greggi, I believe. And then another side garden, but this one we weren't allowed to go through. That's okay. I believe those are primrose and then a buddleia. Nice little seating area next to the pool, and just look at that. Beautiful views from every piece of her garden. They're just, oh, look at this, y'all. This trellis with the coral honeysuckle next to that weeping holly tree with the waterfall and the salvia. That container with the begonias, I believe. Oh my goodness. I filmed this particularly for this combination. This is larkspur with yellow yarrow with echinacea purpurea. Stunning combination. And the bee absolutely loved that echinacea. Next is Shades of Eden Art Garden. What a beautiful topiary of boxwood hedges. I mean, they look like rolling hills. Really, really beautiful, beautifully shaped. This comes up to their porch. And then looking out into their front garden from their front porch. Whoa, look at this color combination. Okay, so this is Mystic Spires Blue Salvia. I have this plant. It is my favorite salvia ever. But look at that color pop that they have going on with the blue and the red geraniums. And then they have this weeping red bud. I think maybe it's forest pansy, weeping forest pansy, something like that. But it's so beautiful with the purple leaves. And then they have white yarrow as their border, which really kind of sets everything off. I love that combination of plants. Over here you'll find more beautiful combinations of plants with roses, and I think those are Blackfoot daisies, those white ones. I totally could be wrong on some of these plants, y'all, but I think that's what it is, Blackfoot daisy. We've got some yucca and then creeping Jenny ground cover, just pop of yellows and lime greens, and then those daylilies that look red. Oh, I think those are primrose, the hot pink flowers. Not super sure about those, but just that combination with the art of the statue. It's really beautiful. And then here we've got some pink pentas and zinnias and echinacea, I believe Shasta daisies, boxwoods, really beautiful combinations. That yellow plant, I believe, is Callillophus, along with some more Blackfoot daisies, more pentas. Pentas do so well here with our heat. Some more zinnia seedlings are popping up, and then of course the creeping Jenny ground cover with those daylilies. Beautiful combination. And then those containers on the porch coming up the stairs. Ooh. And then the texture of that blue fescue grass with the creeping Jenny. It's so different and unique and beautiful. She's got some hostas over here. You can tell it's more shaded. An oak leaf hydrangea that's tree formed. That's so cute with that one bloom. She's in the process of tree forming it. I know because I've done it with a limelight hydrangea. That first year you just get one bloom. And then another oak leaf. So beautiful. I think I see some Dusty Miller there. More oak leaf hydrangea. And that is her front garden. Here is kind of like a side garden island that is in the middle of her lawn, which I love, with some salvia and some plains coreopsis. Really pretty coreopsis. I didn't even know this existed before I went on this garden tour, but a couple of them had it, and it's a really stunning plant. Some zinnia and gomphrena seedlings, heuchera, roses, and then you're seeing the little branches of the crepe myrtle trees. I'll bet when those come into bloom, they're stunning. There's a whole row of them with heuchera planted in the understory. It's really pretty. I love all the different shades of heuchera that she has going on. Unfortunately, I did not get to interview the owner of this garden because my daughter had a little bit of a bathroom emergency in the middle. So I do apologize to the owner for not being able to interview you, and then also to y'all, so y'all didn't get that experience here, but truly was a stunning garden. This series of plants there is actually Weigela. It didn't say what type of Weigela it was, though. And here, look at these stunning trees. I don't know what they are, but they are beautiful. And so she has a garden underneath there. And honestly, I'm not sure about most of what's planted under here. I didn't spend a lot of time there. But here you're walking through her back gate into her backyard. And then you see this beautiful tree. The first thing you see with this trellis. And then planted underneath the tree is winter creeper, I believe. It could be Asiatic jasmine, but I'm pretty sure it's winter creeper. And then she's got just a whole path of stones all the way throughout. Here you can see, I believe those are impatiens and ferns, Turk's cap, lots of shade type of plants. I believe that variegated spotted leafed plant is acanthus or bear's breeches. More Turk's cap. And there is a Solomon seal. Some more ferns. There's some Brunnera back there with lamium under it. Another oak leaf. Columbine. Ferns. I believe that back there might be an Annabelle hydrangea. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what that is. Coming up over here is another part of her garden. This is her keyhole garden. So a keyhole garden is a type of raised bed garden that has a cutout in the center to allow access to people with disabilities. Also, it is where you would dump like your compost, and that feeds the rest of the bed with nutrients. And then also it allows the whole bed to kind of retain moisture so you water less. And that describes the keyhole garden right there. And then walking this way, again, several pathways throughout each of these gardens, really. Pathways make a big difference. There are, I think, some vining things here. I'm not sure what those were. At this point, I was trying to go kind of fast because, again, my daughter had a little bit of a bathroom emergency going on, but I really needed to film this garden, so I apologize. But this portion of her garden is where she is growing red cap mushrooms, and this poster really well explains how you can grow them here in Texas. I love the ground cover she has here. Again, I believe it is winter creeper. And look at this hammock with the pool and jacuzzi in the background. So beautiful. And there's a better look at her pool on the other side of it, as well as some gardens that she has. Here is a really pretty little shade garden with hostas and things, oak leaf hydrangea. I like this little walkway she has with little tiny monkey grass there. She even had rudbeckia like planted in between the stones of some of the walkways. It was so beautiful, but I love this view right here Oh, that bridge that crosses a stone pathway. Really, really beautifully designed. And then there's another look at that hammock right by the jacuzzi and waterfall area. There's that rudbeckia and heuchera planted in between the stones. Little rain catcher. Some of her containers were also spectacular with creeping jenny and sun patience, vinca. All of these are sun-loving plants there. Some sedum and roses. Grasses. And again, I love how the containers are on their own little stands. Here is Texas rock rose. This is a type of, I think, a rose mallow, but it's native here to Texas. It does very, very well in extreme heat and drought. She has some lantana there. Some sunshine ligustrum, my favorite shrub. Oh, this is just so beautiful. Really, really nice combination of flowers and colors and textures. Purple oxalis, elephant ear. I think that's spirea back there. And then she has this cute little garden on the side on the way out as well. Such a beautiful garden. Our last garden is Possum Creek Garden, and it is spectacular, y'all. Just wait. So there is a flamethrower redbud that you see there that is a showstopper. But coming in to this first little part, you can see she has a nice little pathway, but over the fence there is part of that creek. It is a dry creek bed. Basically, water runoff from the neighborhood goes down there and then eventually ends out in Grapevine Lake. This is the original part of their garden when they moved in, and so a really beautiful little vine back there. So cute. And some roses. This, I believe, is dwarf Hortsman blue atlas cedar. There is another one in the front that was labeled, and that's why I know what it is, but stunning. Here's her patio that overlooks the dry creek bed and then also overlooks her pool as well. Pathway that goes to the side over there where you can access the dry creek bed and the pool. So there is another Texas rock rose plant, and then tangerine beauty crossvine, a redbud, and look, side garden inspiration right here too, y'all. Beautiful with grass, stepping stones, river rock, and then ajuga ground cover. But that river rock is a portion of that dry creek bed area. And they have just utilized the natural landscape basically, and they have created river rock where the natural dry creek bed is, and then gardens all around that, and it's stunning. There's the ajuga ground cover. Steps leading up to her pool. Beautiful pool. There is a variegated carex. I believe that's lantana, some salvia, vinca, echinacea, Blackfoot daisy. Nope, that's phlox. Some daylilies that are getting ready to bloom. And look at this stunning. It is a rising sun redbud, one of my favorite trees ever, along with the flamethrowers that she has in the front. Here are Shasta daisies. Look at that little gray hair streak butterfly. All right, so some calliophis, maybe some type of lily. That's a rose mallow of some type. Not blooming yet, so I'm not sure. Now, this tree, I looked it up and it's telling me it's a mango tree. I don't think that's possible because I don't think it would survive in the ground here. If you know what that is, let me know. Some red petunias with sweet potato vine in there. That's beautiful. And here's the back side of her garden. And yes, they have a basketball court. And there is a shade garden down that way that only gets about an hour's sun each day, they said. So of course you're gonna find plants here that do well in the shade, even a type of salvia. And then this is another kind of like an island garden with Turk's cap and more shade plants. Some grasses, dianthus, salvia, I think. This is a weeping redbud again. I love the way redbuds look in the wind. It's beautiful. The shapes of the leaves in the wind and how they blow. It's so pretty. There's some burgundy glojuga. I do have that in my garden, as well as some foxtail fern, which I don't know how she overwintered that foxtail fern. I'm not sure about that. I think it's just an annual that's going to die. But there's a Japanese maple. And I'm not sure what that big bush is. And there's a fabulous look at this dry creek bed that they have curated. Another weeping redbud. Some lamb's ear, oak leaf hydrangea, heuchera, tractor seat plant. Really, really beautiful garden right here. I love this combination. And here is my interview with Gail, the homeowner.
Gonna get your garden in there.
So we've been here 14 years, original homeowner. This whole area here was a big thicket, trees, vines, didn't really know what was down here and just kind of started landscaping around what we have.
That is awesome. You've done, so all of this is you. Like, did you build the retaining wall?
The retaining wall was put in by the developer.
Okay.
That's the one thing that was here.
All right, but
And
all
then-
the rest of this was
and then
just
we have
thicket.
this drainage culvert that comes out here.
I see. Okay.
So that takes water from the neighborhood through a drainage easement, and then we get water from the adjacent homes through here. And from our
my
lot.
goodness.
And it all joins into this creek and ends up eventually in Grapevine.
That's incredible. So when it rains, this
It's literally
dry
a
creek
river.
bed is
Yes.
full
It's-
of
and
water.
sometimes it's like listening to a rushing river.
Oh, how magical. And so you added all of that so that it could
Yes.
Yeah.
And we just went with the natural flow because there was a natural water channel here when we bought the property, and then with all the development that went in, we just had to keep widening it because it was taking on more water.
Yeah. And did you have a landscaper like help you design all of this, or did y'all just come up with it?
We worked with the landscaper when we first moved in. He came in and cleared out all the dead stuff and
Okay.
kind of showed us what we had.
Yeah.
He put down like burlap along the slopes, which lasted for like 6 or 7 years to help with the erosion.
Okay.
And then as that kind of deteriorated, we put in plants to help maintain the soil.
Yeah, that is just incredible.
This area right here is still part of their property, but they have left it completely natural. It is a natural cliff, and that is where the water goes and enters Grapevine Lake at some point. Now here we've gone to the front of the house. This concludes the backyard, but here is the front yard. And again, another stunning combination of plants with these grasses, Loropetalum, sunshine ligustrum, plains coreopsis, and here is that huntsman. It's a dwarf Hortsman blue atlas cedar. Stunning. I would love to add this to my garden. I love this color and this texture. So pretty against the brick especially. I think that's a barberry there, more ligustrum, a buddleia among some grasses, and then another flamethrower redbud. Oh, truly stunning tree. These are just so beautiful. I love that pop of color so much. Oh my goodness. And then to set it off, there's actually some milkweed down there. Some more grasses. I believe that's a spirea back there. And another one there. That's some purple verbena. I believe that's what that is on the bottom. Some white swan echinacea. I think, is that a Loropetalum? I believe so, but there's another gray streak butterfly on the white swan echinacea. I have a lot of those butterflies in my garden too right now. Some daylilies, another flamethrower with sunshine ligustrum in the background. I believe those two plant combinations are really, really, really beautiful. It almost makes me want to take out my Vitex tree and put a flamethrower redbud in its place. And honestly, I was contemplating doing that before we did the Vitex. But I still love our Vitex tree. Here's some pentas, abelia, I think. That is I believe that's a smoke bush. Over there, believe it or not, this is a dwarf Vitex tree. But they have let it grow in a bush form, and they definitely will do that. You can have it as a shrub or a tree, really. And I'm forming mine to be a tree.
Okay, everyone. Well, that includes our last tour. It has been just an awesome day touring all of these properties that are so unique and individual and incredible and beautiful. And it's just been a joy. What did you think of it, Maya?
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I wrote down notes. Beautiful, amazing, cool. Pools are the best.
Pools are the best. She likes the pools the best. We don't have a pool.
Uneven grounds.
Uneven ground. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I'm able to do this justice, you guys, because it was just absolutely spectacular. But I hope you got inspired today and have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.